February 29th, 2008, 1:14 a.m. I saw a UFO. Now, when I say UFO, that doesn't mean aliens, it doesn't mean Sasquatch, it definitely doesn't mean the Earth is flat, and surely it doesn't mean that Star Wars was a documentary. The only thing that UFO means is that I saw some shit in the sky and I don't know what it was. That is all that UFO means. Unidentified flying object. And just in case you're wondering, yes, I was sober at the time. Before I became a truck driver, I worked as a private security guard at an Office Depot distribution center in Carroll Stream, Illinois. Now, Monday to Friday, that place was running 24/7. Come Friday evening, the place shut down for the weekend and there was nobody there except security. Now, the shift that I worked was from midnight to 8 a.m. So in that 8-hour span, I was the only one there. Now, during the week, not a problem. You have plenty of stuff to occupy you, things to do. But on the weekends, there was nothing to do. You had to provide your own means of entertainment and amusement. Something that I would do was bring my laptop. Now, this is way before the days of streaming, Amazon Prime, Netflix, HBO Max, and the litany of other streaming services that are available today. We didn't have none of that back then. All we had was discs. And Netflix, they sent you a movie on a disc. You got it. I took it with me to work, popped it in my laptop, and started watching it. Now, sometimes I'd get about halfway through the movie and realize the disc has a damn scratch in it. And guess what now? I can't finish the movie because when it gets to that point, the disc is just like, and that's it. You can't watch it. And then you freak out. And when you freak out, you throw your laptop against the wall. And when you throw your laptop against the wall, it breaks. Now you're out $1,700. So what do you do next? You freak the fuck out. And what do you do when you freak the fuck out? You realize, I need a new laptop, but you don't have $1,700 because your job doesn't pay you enough money. So what do? You go rob a liquor store, or at least you try, but you fail because the cops show up and they arrest you. And now you're spending 35 years in prison just because of some stupid little scratch in some stupid little disc. And it wasn't even a great movie to begin with. I feel like I might have gone just a little overboard. My apologies. But anyways, we did not have streaming, so that's how I would watch movies, just to keep myself entertained. Something else I would do to pass the time, and it was kind of sort of part of my job, I would get in my car and I'd drive around the facility just to make sure that nobody was lurking or skulking around. Because anytime somebody is lurking or skulking, they're up to no good. You don't hear about a guy lurking or skulking outside of a woman's bedroom window to give her financial advice, right? It just doesn't happen. Would be nice if it was not creepy at all, but it doesn't happen. Not the kind of world that we live in. And on February 29th, 2008, I was doing just that. I was going around the place, making sure nobody's lurking, nobody's skulking, and nobody was. But on my way back to the front of the building, off in the distance, I saw not a UFO. I saw fireworks. So I decided to stop right there just to watch the fireworks. Everybody loves fireworks except for people with PTSD and dogs. Not really huge fans, right? But most other people, they enjoy fireworks. I'm one of those people. So I stopped to look at them and they were very nice. There's a park off in the distance over there, and that's where I assumed the fireworks were coming from. All right, we are here on Google Earth, and that is Africa. That is not where we need to go. We are going to go to Carol Stream, where I used to work, and you'll see how easily I can navigate my way there without having to actually look it up. It's one of my many redundant, pointless talents, but anyways, there it is. Look at that. Found it in a jiffy. And just to show you on the side right there, you see it says Office Depot. And fun fact, if you walk through this door right here, about 15 feet in, there's another door that leads to a room. And in that room is where I made my viral rubber glove middle finger video. Fuck you. So, fun fact. But anyways, this is the warehouse that I was at on the night that I saw the UFO, or the bright green glowing thingy in the sky. And I was making my way down this driveway right here, and to the left you'll see a row of trucks. Those weren't there at the time. It's just a bunch of dock doors right there, and I saw the fireworks off in the distance, so I stopped to check them out. Yeah, and so the fireworks were coming from this park or baseball field, football field, whatever you want to call it, that belongs to a high school. There we have the field right there. So in correlation to the warehouse, they are about 2 miles apart from each other, less than 2 miles. I measured it before. It was 1.84 miles. And so there I've circled the warehouse, and there I have circled the field where the fireworks were at. Now, I don't know why they were firing off fireworks on February 29th at around 1 a.m. Who knows? You know, people do weird things, but whatever. So that's the distance between the two. Now, I believe that the object that was in the sky was way closer to me than it was to the fireworks, because if it was closer to the fireworks, it would mean the thing's massive, right? So I believe it was closer to me, and this is the flight path that I believe that it took. And as you can see, this area is not the boonies or the sticks by any stretch of the imagination. It is relatively populated. I mean, granted, the area that I was in, there is some surrounding residential areas, but for the most part, that area right there, you see, that is all industrial warehouses, things of that nature. So all in all, I can only speculate on its flight path and what the distance was from me. But I don't know. I never heard anything about it, never heard any news, nothing. So as far as I'm concerned, maybe some other people saw it and they knew it was, you know, just something normal. And I was the only one that was thinking, what the hell is that? So that's the area. That's what it looked like. That's where I was. That's where the fireworks were. And that is the flight path that I believe that it took. Eventually, the fireworks petered off. And that is when I noticed off in the distance, I couldn't say how far away it was, but there was this green elongated object in the sky. It was like a bright green, like super neon, almost like that green back there, that kind of green. And it was like, you know, that kind of green. And it had an orange line going through the middle of it. Yeah. And it seemed like there was a light that was going around, or at least left and right in some form or fashion on this thing. Now, my first impression was, this is some kind of intricate firework. And at any moment, it's just going to explode in some spectacular fashion, and I'm gonna be like, whoa. But that didn't happen. This thing just kept cruising along the sky, doing its thing, whatever it was, I don't know, but it just cruised along the sky. It went behind some trees, so I know it wasn't that high off the ground, and eventually I lost sight of it when it just got so far behind some buildings and trees and such like that. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. I've had people give me like a vague description, like, oh yeah, I know what that is, and yeah, that's not really helpful, right? They can't give me any kind of reference point, an email or a picture or something to say, oh, here, you can compare it against this, and look, they're very similar or exactly the same. Hasn't happened yet. Vague descriptions just because you want to make it look like you know what you're talking about doesn't really help solve the mystery, if you will. And so maybe somebody out there in YouTube land or internet land can point me in the right direction, and maybe you might know exactly what that is, and you could send me a link and say, oh, check this out, this is what it is, and that's what it does, and it looks similar or exactly the same, whatever. And if that happens to be you, I would be so grateful, because I'm just the kind of person that I can't just have a little crumb of something and then just forget about it. Like, if something fascinates me, which pretty much everything does in some form or fashion, I just need to know more about it and just gonna dig into it so I can know. I like learning. But that was my UFO experience, something I didn't think I'd ever have. But again, when I say UFO, I don't mean anything by it, except I saw some shit in the sky and I can't explain it. Not even a little bit. Not aliens, not saying it was aliens. Hell, maybe it was aliens. I don't know. Do I think it's aliens? Probably not. I think it's more likely that it's something that's just outside the purview of my knowledge than it is aliens. Because as human beings, we struggle to recognize that we don't know what we don't know. Think about that, it's important. We all possess ignorance in some form or fashion, and some of us possess it a little more than others, or a lot. Anywho, thank you so much for watching my video. If you might know what the UFO could have been, please let me know down in the comments, or you could just blindly speculate. That's great too. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Unless those aliens that were in that ship, they're like, oh, this guy put us on blast on YouTube, so now they're gonna come at me at night while I'm sleeping and put stuff in my butt. Bring it on, you alien scum.